I'm Mayor Curtistene S. I am honored to be here today on behalf of the city of DeSoto to celebrate the life of Curtistene S. McCowan. I want to welcome you all to this celebration of her life, and what an absolutely incredible life it was. Curtistene S. McCowan achieved greatness in life, but not just in deed and title, but right here in our hearts. The essence of her life and who she was is captured within all of us. There's an old African proverb that says, when you think, speak, and believe of a person, that person still lives. By celebrating her life and loving her, we keep her spirit alive. Our mayor believed in the nobility of public service, especially when it was given from the heart. Curtistene S. McCowan called it philanthropy, but we all knew it as love. Curtistene S. McCowan was a woman of lovers who believed that all God's children deserve respect and dignity. Curtistene S. McCowan would expect all of us to work together to move our city forward. As our dear mayor said during one of her last public speeches, I've always said that when we work together, there is nothing that we can't accomplish. Well, DeSoto, let's keep working together to move our city forward. And when we do this, we honor her memory, and we also build a better city. I want to thank you for joining us in the celebration of the life of Curtistene S. McCowan.
Good morning. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. And thank you to everyone watching this very special broadcast. Our beloved Mayor McCowan was an inspirational leader, a selfless public servant, and my boss. I'm delighted today to have a small part in this program that has been designed to honor her memory and her legacy. Some of you may know my face, and some may only know me as Madam Secretary. Next item, please. My name is Keisha Morris Perkins, and I am blessed and honored to say that I am the City Secretary for the All-America City of DeSoto, also known as the person sitting right next to the mayor. Mayor Curtistene S. McCowan held the title of mayor, but she also held another personal title for me, which just so happens to begin with the letter M, second mom. She has talked me off the ledge, she's comforted me, she's cheered with me, she's cheered for me, she's encouraged me, fought for me, and most of all, she loved me and my family. I love her, we love her. She would always say, Keisha, make sure you have a seat at the table, even if you have to volunteer for it. I will always remember those words. Every word she said to me, she said with love, and it will forever be etched in my heart. My 10-year-old daughter, Kendall, wrote a personal note for the memorial wall. It simply states, God had a pencil, Mrs. Curtistene had a highlighter. God drew the world, she made it brighter. I think we all would agree. Thank you for giving me this time to briefly share what she meant to me. At this time, our invocation will be presented by Pastor Cesar Renti, Vice President of Pastoral Services, Methodist Health System, and Chair of DeSoto's Police, Clergy, and Community.
Hello, my name is Cesar Renti. I serve as Chair for the DeSoto Police and Clergy, and also Vice President of Pastoral Services for Methodist Health System. I count it an honor and a privilege to be here with you today to celebrate the life of Mayor Curtistene McCowan. Sherman once said, life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forward. Therefore, as we take the time to look back at the life of Mayor McCowan through the service she gave, the love she shared with many of us, it will be important that we all live our lives forward in love and service as she did. That the best way to honor her is to live forward in such a way that our whole lives become an expression of love. Will you join me in prayer? Eternal God, as we set aside this time to celebrate your humble servant, Curtistene S. McCowan, thank you for her life and the gift she was to many of us. As we stand in this space and mourn our losses, we ask that you give us your peace and your comfort. May our work continue to bless the life of our community, that we may continue to grow in harmony and love towards one another. So God, we pray that as we stop and observe and pay homage to our friend, inspire all of us to work as she did, to serve as she did, to love as she did, that we too may become that living instrument of healing and peace in the world today. Therefore, help us to strive in companionship with her spirit, that we are always kind to our neighbors, and that we are always lift up our friends, that we always love our families, that we always seek peace with our enemies, that we're always devoted to our community, that we always are committed to justice, that we will always strive for peace. Help us to live fully as she did, that when the faithful day comes, when our bodies will give up the privilege of holding our spirits, that you will say, well done, my good and faithful servant. Now I will give you rest. Grant, O God, that we may know in this very moment that nothing in life, not even death, can separate us from you, so that we may live fully and faithfully as our friend did. Amen.
Next, I would like to introduce the 19th Mayor of DeSoto, Colonel Bobby Waddle, United States Air Force, retired, who will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
It's an honor to be here today to celebrate the life of Ferguson. Curtistene S. Before I will do the pledge, I want to say a few words. Curtistene and I were dear friends. We were in many activities, things involved to see together. She was my campaign manager. Go way back. I visualize Ms. McCowan and Curtistene sort of like a morning glory. Beautiful bloom, but a very tenacious plant. The day where Miss Curtistene lies at rest, years ago as a young man growing up in DeSoto, we farmed that land. That cemetery has not always been there, but we farmed that land. And that's the way I learned about a morning glory, a very tenacious plant. Beautiful, but it is tenacious. We hoed cotton. We did all kinds of things to get rid of Johnson grass, hoorah grass. But if there was a morning glory there, it's a whole different ballgame. And today I look back at her place of rest, that's why a morning glory is tenacious. She was so tenacious in any endeavor she got into. You could always figure that she's going to be there. I flew combat. You always took great care of the people who flew on your wing. Miss Curtistene would have been there. It was just a real honor to be with her and to serve with her, not only in the city, but in our Texas City Council of Governments and many other endeavors. Even as she served as a Board of Regents in Texas Southern. She's just an all-around lady and a great lady. And I was very honored that our paths crossed. She was very special when it came to veterans. The other day when we had a veteran ceremony here, very few people were there, but you could feel her presence, those of us that attended. There. And with that, I want to do the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you will, bear with me and join with me. I'm going to turn to my right. We're going to do the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. God bless her life, and we wish her family the best. Thank you.
Today's event is to celebrate the life of our mayor and friend, Curtistene S. McCowan. It is the culmination of efforts by the ad hoc committee composed of council members and city management staff with the support of the DeSoto community. The ad hoc committee was chaired by Councilmember Candace Quarles and included Councilmember Kay Brown Patrick, Councilmember Andre Bird, City Manager Brandon Wright, and various city staff to put together an event to honor the memory of Mayor McCowan. The committee wanted the City Council to have the opportunity to share their remembrance of the mayor along with city staff, elected officials, and our colleagues in the Best Southwest community. Much of what you will see today was pre-taped so that we could amplify the voices of many while minimizing the risk associated with large gatherings during the coronavirus pandemic. We sure hope you find this to be a fitting remembrance of the life and legacy of her selfless public service to DeSoto.
First of all, let me just thank the city of DeSoto, the council, the staff, for all of your courtesies and the opportunity to be invited here today, along with some of my other esteemed colleagues. I take this privilege as an opportunity to not only memorialize the late Mayor Curtistene McCowan, but just to tell you what she meant to us at Dallas County and the Dallas County Inland Port. There's a saying by Dr. Cornel West says that you cannot lead the people if you don't love the people. And you cannot save the people if you don't serve the people. That's Curtistene McCowan. There was a lady by the name of Miriam. She was a prophet. And while Moses and Aaron gets all of the credit in terms of leadership and leading people out of Israel, it was Miriam. It was Miriam, the prophet, with gifts that basically talked about Horeb and the killing of the boys. It was Miriam who basically saved Moses. And where we don't give a lot of credit to women is in the book of Exodus. It was Miriam with tambourines that led the women out and into the promised land. And so I salute Mayor Curtistene McCowan today for being the Miriam of our time. She had a great spirit. Sometimes I wish I had that spirit. Just pray for me. I'm still working on mine. But she had a good spirit. And if DeSoto will just embrace that and go forward, then you will see Miriam. Not always Moses, not always Aaron, but Miriam that provide leadership and a mentorship for women. God bless you, DeSoto, the McCowan family, and this region, because we were blessed that she traversed this way. And all the people said, amen.
Good morning. My name is Joe Seabrooks, and I have the honor and privilege to represent Dallas College and the Best Southwest Partnership. There's only really two things I want to do this morning. That's number one, I want to express our deepest condolences. And secondly, I'd like to share a couple leadership lessons that I've learned personally from Mayor McCowan. First, our condolences. It is with a a heavy heart, humility, and sadness, that we extend our deepest heartfelt condolences to the family of Mayor Curtistene McCowan and the All-American City of DeSoto. Our heart breaks with you, and we grieve with you. Secondly, lessons that I've learned from the great Mayor Curtistene McCowan. These are things that I privately call Curtistene convictions. Similar to what you heard from the commissioner today, Mayor McCowan taught me how to lead with love. And you have to love the organization you serve, the place you serve, but more importantly, the people you serve. And more incredibly, you have to love those folks even when they don't love you back. Secondly, she taught me how to persevere with purpose. You know, no for her was simply a yes under construction. And then lastly, she taught me how to lead with faith. You know, when you serve your God, victory might be slow, but victory is always inevitable. It is with the entire united force of the Best Southwest Partnership that I leave you all with this. We all know that Mayor McCowan was much, much more than the mayor of the All-American City of DeSoto. But for us, Mayor McCowan was the mayor of the Best Southwest Partnership. Her presence, her gift, her legacy, her class, her grace will forever be imprinted on the work that we do, past, present, and future. And again, it's a God-given pleasure that I feel privileged to have the opportunity to share these brief remarks with you. Mayor McCowan, we will for always miss you. We will always honor you. And thank you for giving us your greatest gift, yourself. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Reverend Dr. Wheeler Lee. I pastored here in the city of DeSoto for 13 years at the United Methodist Church of the Disciple. And as I stand before you this morning, I want to say to our listening audience that when I remember my friend Mayor Curtistene Smith McCowan, a poem entitled "The Road Now Taken" by Robert Frost comes to mind. Two roads diverge in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both and be one traveler. Long I stood and looked down one as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the others just as fair and having perhaps a better claim because it was grassy and wanted wear, though as for the passing there had worn them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay in leaves, no steps had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, but knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I would ever come back. I want to say today, I first met Mayor McCowan when I was a city employee and she was a federal employee. She was part of a women's group that was putting together a conference for women in the city of Dallas. She was gracious as always. However, when I came to pastor here in the city of DeSoto, our paths crossed again. She was my mayor pro tem, and I was invited to pray for the opening of the city council. Our paths crossed again as I also served with her as a member of the Delta Sigma Theta sorority. And she hosted a class at the McCowan School in her honor, a school named in her honor by the DeSoto Independent School District. I read in her obituary that she was one of the first people of color to be elected into office in DeSoto, and for me, that makes her a role model. Because when I look around this city, there are people of color who followed her on the boards of education as well as the city council. As a Methodist, I am so keenly aware of her role on the board of directors at Charlton Methodist Medical Center. She was an influencer who took with her her goals and vision for the best hospital possible to serve this community. As a pastor, I was invited to be part of the DeSoto Police and Clergy. We heard the statistics of domestic violence in our community. I, along with a member of our church, met with the mayor as a part of our outreach to address the problem. Always the consummate leader, it was her vision to present to the city council the idea of a task force to address the issues. I was appointed to that task force, which was later funded and became a commission, holding an annual conference. When Mayor McCowan saw the change in demographics of the community with her concerns about the lack of transportation in the city, she assessed the city to determine if transportation was possible and sought funding to bring Star Transit to the city. My friend was a visionary leader and a concerned friend to our community. In the year 2018, my mother passed, and when I looked up at the funeral in Henderson, Texas, my mayor was there. It was not just for me, but for the diversity of the citizenry of this community. She surrounded herself with young leaders who knew the latest technology and would bring their gifts to support her. Mayor McCowan was a teacher and one who attempted to train those with whom she worked, always concerned about replacing herself in every place. She and I share a personal friend, and when she left her job in the federal government, she assured that this young woman was placed, her young protege, who took her place. She had trained her, and I thank God for such a loving, supportive, and understanding husband who was always quietly by her side. Mayor McCowan would visit our churches, speak to our congregations, pray for our citizens, and listen to the concerns of us all. I know that she came to that fork in the road, and she took the road less traveled. May her memory and her legacy live on in perpetuity.
When you think about great leaders, who comes to mind? Perhaps Abraham Lincoln, Warren Buffett, Dr. Martin Luther King, or maybe Oprah Winfrey. For most of us, great leaders are larger than life individuals who most of us have only maybe read about or maybe watched on TV. On behalf of Leadership Southwest, we were truly blessed to have and to serve with Mayor McCowan. Mayor McCowan was part of the best class in 2015. And if you know anything about the history of Leadership Southwest, we all take pride in being the best class ever. When the board of directors were asked to describe Mayor McCowan, the following comments were: Trudy Lewis with the City of Hutchins states that Mayor McCowan was an incredible leader with a servant heart. She stood as an example of grace, discernment, generosity, leadership, and a commitment to public good. Monica Kenny stated that she was the epitome of genuine leadership and community advocacy. Tamara Sadler shared a few words of wisdom that Mayor McCowan shared and lived by, which was be proactive and dedicated to getting things done. Be about growing and investing in others. And lastly, model excellence and boldness. Tap into your integratedness. Mayor McCowan was also the 2016 Distinguished Leadership Alumni Award honoree. And so the board of directors has unanimously agreed to change the name of the Distinguished Alumni Award to the Mayor McCowan Distinguished Leadership Alumni Award, and which the first recipient will be no other than Kenneth Govan. And so on behalf of Leadership Southwest, man, we will truly miss Mayor McCowan. She was a great servant, and we will truly love her and her family in the city of DeSoto as well. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to be here to join with other friends that are part of this memorial service for our late Mayor Curtistene S. I say to you, my friends, that as I stand here today, I want to say thank you, Leon, because in many instances, you would be right there by her side, providing her the consultation that's necessary in order to provide her the ability to deliberate on key decision-making issues. I know you didn't provide her consultation in making that basketball shot we saw a few moments ago, but she made the tough shots. Recall meeting with the mayor a couple of weeks before her sunrise, talking about DeSoto, her vision for DeSoto. We know what type of leader she was. We know that we will remember her in perpetuity as a leader visionary for this city. What she said, I want to make certain that you understand and appreciate this, especially if you want to see DeSoto be and continue to be that all-American city. She said, Royce, if we don't have an education system in this city that's second to none, with people serving on the school board and leadership roles that will get along and make certain that the main focus should be the betterment of our children, then we will never realize the vision of maintaining DeSoto as an all-American city. My friends, if she were here today, she would tell you that we've got to make certain that people who serve on city council, school board, understand the vision, appreciate the vision that was put in place not only by Mayor McCowan, but by mayors and leaders before her. We must make certain that we hold her up high, that we understand what vision she has for the city. We continue to move forward. Curtistene, we'll miss you, but we will do everything in our power to continue to make the tough shadows. Thank you.
The city and family received so many proclamations, resolutions, letters of condolences, and prayers, and we thank you. I'd like to recognize some at this Celebrating Life event. Official letter of condolence from President George W. Bush. A statement honoring Mayor McCowan was read into the Congressional Record of the United States House of Representatives. State resolution from Senator Royce West. House resolution from State Representative Carl Sherman Sr. House resolution from State Representative Yvonne Davis. Dallas County resolution signed by Judge Clay Jenkins. Dallas County resolution signed by Commissioner John Wiley Price and Dallas County Public Works Director Alberta Blair. Dallas County resolution signed by Constable Tracy Gully, Judge Valencia Nash, and Judge Thomas Jones. Letter of condolence from the North Central Texas Council of Governments. Resolution from the DeSoto City Council. Document of special recognition by the Dallas City Council. Resolution from City of Cedar Hill. Proclamation from the Lancaster City Council naming November 6, 2020 as Mayor Curtistene S. McCowan Day in the City of Lancaster. Letter of condolence from the Metroplex Mayors Association from President Mayor Robert Dye, City of Farmers Branch. Resolution from Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated Southwest Region. Letter of condolence from the Southwest Dallas County Alumni Chapter Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Memorial resolution from federally employed women. Resolution of respect and honor of federal and public service by the Federal Executive Board. Resolution from the DeSoto Independent School District. Resolution of respect from the DeSoto Chamber of Commerce. Resolution expressing condolences from the Cedar Hill Independent School District. Resolution of condolences from Kappa Alpha Pi Fraternity Incorporated. Letter of condolence from the United States of America Federal Trade Commission. Expression of sympathy from the United States Department of Health and Human Services. And resolution of condolence from the Golden Voices Choir. Next, I would like to introduce artist Curtis Ferguson, whose art was featured as part of the Black Lives in America exhibit that was on display in DeSoto City Hall. He has a special presentation for the city of DeSoto. Curtis will be presenting on behalf of himself, and the acceptance will be Brandon Wright. Our city manager will make the acceptance on behalf of the city of DeSoto.
As a resident of DeSoto for the past 20 years, it's been a pleasure to live here. It's been a pleasure to serve here in different capacities. As she stated, I was able to participate in the to the city on behalf of Mayor McCowan. Her and I met. When we first met, I was curious about her name because my first name is Curtis. And I did ask, was her father named Curtis? And she affirmed that. And we laughed, and every time I saw her, she was always very kind to me. So on behalf of, I'd like to say, the citizens of DeSoto, I want to present this to the citizens, to the city, and form of my gratitude for living in a great city, an all-American city. And okay. So on behalf of the citizens of DeSoto, if I may, as a resident of DeSoto for the past 20 years, I did a portrait of her that I'm donating to the city, and hopefully you guys will be pleased, and hopefully it can carry on in her memory.
Certainly, Mr. Ferguson, on behalf of the city of DeSoto, we want to sincerely thank you for this generous gift to the city. This art represents very well our mayor. We will be delighted to find a place in City Hall that will honor this art and be a place where we can remember her. And as we look at it, remember the contribution that you've made, both in this art piece and also many art pieces in our that adorn our hallways in City Hall. Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Sherman. I'm the 21st mayor of the city, or the 20th mayor of the city of DeSoto. I had the pleasure of knowing Curtistene S. McCowan as a friend and in many ways as a family member. I knew her from East Texas. I actually knew of her mother, Blanche, who my family, my mother, and my aunts would talk about fondly as a woman who was a trailblazer. And so it's not surprising that her daughter, Curtistene S. McCowan, would become the 21st mayor of the city of DeSoto and the first female mayor of the city, the all-American city of DeSoto. This is very difficult because she was like family, and she never lost her East Texas touch. The waving from the porch that those in Smithland County are very familiar with. And so from Jefferson to Smithland to Vivian, Louisiana, all are missing her at this time, and my mother and family send our love, and as they say, we are East Texas cousins. There are 4 letters that I'd like to just leave you with an acronym to remember Curtistene S. McCowan. Curtistene S. McCowan, Curtistene, C for classy. She was the epitome of classy. She was also very sophisticated. She was methodical, and she was compassionate. Then there would be no Curtistene S. McCowan without the first gentleman of DeSoto, a man of strength and resolve, Leon McCowan. So important, one of the most important decisions you make is the one you marry. It will help determine your growth, your trajectory. And her husband, the first gentleman, and the very first gentleman of the city of DeSoto knows that. Finally, I say to you, Curtistene S. McCowan understood the essence of not marrying the person you can live with, but marry the person you cannot live without. She understood Isaiah 54 verse 5 very clearly. Thy maker is thy husband. She is with her husband. God bless you. God bless the all-American city of DeSoto.
Some fly away. Oh, I'll fly away, oh, glory, I'll fly away. When I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away. Just a few more weary days, and then I'll fly away to a home where joy shall never end. Oh, I'll fly away. Oh, I'll fly away. Oh, glory, I'll fly away. When I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh, glory, I'll fly away. When I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away. Oh, glory, I'll fly away. Oh, glory, I'll fly away. See, when I die, hallelujah, by and by, oh, I'll fly away. Oh, I'll fly away. Oh, glory, I'll fly away. When I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away. I'll fly away.
Madam Curtistene McCowan, known to Girlfriends Ministries as Girlfriends Curtistene, known to Bank of DeSoto, Jimmy and Pierce as Curtistene. My sister, my friend, my secret keeper, my confidant, and most of all, our illustrious Mayor of DeSoto. Curtistene was kind of like myself, untraditional in so many ways. We're going to pray today because she not only was a trailblazer, she was really about making the path for people. So today, God, we come today thanking you for those many paths that the Honorable Curtistene McCowan left for the best Southwest. Her paths included those who were interested in making a difference in their communities, in their homes, in their churches, and yes, about the sisterhood. She will leave a path that most of us, it's going to be easy for us to walk into. Why? Because now she has left a path for us. God, we thank you because she has made our paths not only easier, but her footprints will forever be left in the paths. God, we thank you for she has made the ways so much easier, not for the trails, but for leaving those beautiful paths for the city of DeSoto. God, we thank you for the path that's going to lead us into the next century. Thankful to the Honorable Mayor McCowan. Her paths will always be remembered because she has told us after meeting, after lunch, after breakfast, every indication when you'd hear her, she'd say, the all-American city of DeSoto. Yes, my sister, I will take those words and brand them and make them mine because you weren't the trailblazer DeSoto was looking for. You are the one who left the path for us to walk in. So I say thank you, Curtistene. You didn't make the road easy. You made it beautiful for us. Thank you, Honorable old Mayor Curtistene. You didn't make the roads shiny. You made them beautiful for us. Thank you, Mayor McCowan, and God bless the beautiful all-American city of DeSoto, Texas.
As we now come to the conclusion of this great celebration of our great friend, our great mayor, and our great sister, Curtistene S. McCowan. Curtistene S. McCowan knew the importance of building a good team, and she would have been proud of the job that our ad hoc committee, the team assembled to plan today's event, and other fitting remembrance of our beloved mayor. And she would have wanted us to give them the recognition and the credit that is due. So please let me introduce the ad hoc committee and the rest of my council members here with us. We have Councilmember Candace Quarles, who was the chair of this ad hoc committee. We have Councilmember Kay Brown Patrick, as well as Councilmember Andre Berg. And we want to thank them for putting this and organizing this celebration as well. But I also want to recognize and say thank you to my other council members who are here as well, and recognize them and for the hard work that they have been doing as well. And that is my council member Nicole Raphael, right over my shoulder, as well as Councilmember Dr. Diana Bart. And I want to say to them that they have, throughout this period of time and throughout this period of challenges we've been having, have come together as your city council. And this is who we are. We are the city of DeSoto, and we are your council member. But I also like to recognize our staff. I want to recognize our city manager, Brandon Wright. I want to recognize our deputy city manager, Isom Newsom, deputy city manager, Christoph Earl, communication manager, Matt Smith, community relationship manager, Kathy Jones, an executive assistant to the city manager, Becky Lewis, and of course to our city secretary, Dr. Keisha Martin. Finally, I would like to thank everyone who took time to honor our mayor. Whether they came in the last weekend to take a heartfelt message, or they came together just to honor her on camera. You lined the streets of our great city during her service. You paid your respect to Mayor Curtistene S. McCowan by her visitation and by wearing red or signing a remembrance at the city hall or online. She loved and she appreciated all of you, and she loved this city. If Curtistene were with us one last time, I think the sentence that she would say would be, God bless all of you, and may he continue to bless the all-American city. God bless you. God bless the city of DeSoto.